Hey friends, Jared here, and today we're going to have a special first look at the brand new Spin Master Catwoman figure from the Batman Cape Crusader line. I'm so excited about this figure because it just goes with the huge gallery of characters that Spin Master has already released, and in just less than a year's time, Spin Master has already had such a huge level of diversity in their lineup, and this is the first villain figure that is female in the line, and hopefully we can see this followed up by Poison Ivy and a few others soon. So let's have a closer look at Catwoman. Start with the packaging. We see the basic Cape Crusader line packaging with the little mystery spiel right there. We have the first edition sticker up here. And then on the back, we have our array of different locales. And for this series, we actually have a different smattering of locations. And which mission will you get? Well, we'll find out. So I always love to open these things on here, and let's see. Yes, we have the jungle mission. Now, with the Cape Crusader line, you know that this can become a trading card. And I think this is great because it gives just that little extra bit of value to kids and parents. And so we can just punch that out, and we have our card. Nothing on the back, but still really cool. And then this really does make me feel like a kid again because here's our mystery boxes. So let's poke this one. Let's see what we get. We get Catwoman's whip. So seems pretty essential. And we have a really strange paint or something. I don't know. I'll look at that later. All right, let's get this one open. What do we have? Looks like a launcher kind of thing, and it looks like some kind of weird wash on it too. It looks like it plugs into the back, and it's like a turret of some sort. So interesting. Moving on down. Go to this one, and we get red gauntlets, and they also have kind of a weird wash on them, and these actually look like they're meant for Catwoman because of the claws. So that's interesting to get gauntlets that aren't just for Batman. Let's open up Catwoman. Before we have a closer look at Catwoman outside of the packaging, I will show you the little flyer that she came with. This is just a little product guide that tells you all the different variations on the accessories you could get. This kind of drives me crazy a little bit, and I constantly have to tell myself that it's okay if I don't complete like a set of armor. It may sound kind of weird, but tell me in the comments below if you find yourself in the same spot, because I certainly know that I do. And this is kind of funny because according to this, with the jungle variation of Catwoman, you get a whip that doesn't look exactly black necessarily. So maybe it's supposed to have some kind of weird like gunk on it. I am not exactly sure. So maybe that one mark I saw in there earlier is supposed to be there. Anyway, though, let's go ahead and have a look at this Catwoman. We have her whip in her hand here, and I'll just move that out of the way so we can get a better look at the sculpt. We can see that really for a like 4-inch scaled figure, sculpt is pretty nice. We actually have a little zipper right up here. You can see that mark go down, and it even sort of looks like her whip is wrapped around the waist. Moving on down, we have just kind of some regular cat suit pants. We have the boots, have a little information stamp right there, and we have a huge gaping hole so that you can put an accessory or a backpack of some kind. Then the head sculpt itself is very nice for this scale. We have the cat ears up here. We have the goggles. This is definitely the Jim Lee look for Catwoman from Hush, and it has been the most popular look for many, many years now. And overall, I think the sculpting is really quite nice, especially for this scale. Keep in mind, this is only, 3.75, 4 inches. So this thing is teeny tiny, and it is quite nice for that size. The paint work is fine, especially at this smaller scale. Right now, you're seeing, an extreme close-up of a toy that was never meant to be seen at that level. I am impressed that the lipstick is as good as it is because it's almost like she's got a slight smile, her lips kind of going up a little bit more on one side, so that's cool. The goggles aren't quite as nicely painted. You can see that there's one over here, and if that'll kind of, focus, you can see there's yellow right there, and of course that's easily cleanable with a little bit of alcohol. So, that is probably the only paint slot because there really isn't much paint to speak of. So overall, not too bad. Not perfect, but not too bad. So let's look at Catwoman's articulation. Like a lot of the Spin Master figures, she has a great range to be at this scale. The head can sort of go down and sort of go up, but there's not very much range there. Of course, it can go all the way around. And then on the shoulder joints, we have a hinge, and it can go actually a little bit above 90 degrees, so that's actually pretty good. It can go all the way around. At the elbow, we have full rotation. We have a single jointed elbow, and you can get a little bit over, right at 90 maybe. And then there's nothing in the wrist. At the waist, there's nothing. But the hips actually have a very generous range. You can be able to do a really high kick. You can go back just a little bit, so not very much there. And then we actually can do the splits completely, so she can absolutely hit that kind of pose. We do have a cut right here at the upper thigh, and then we have a single jointed knee, and you can swivel that all the way around. And there is nothing in the ankles as is expected with these figures. So overall, you can get Catwoman into all kinds of crazy poses, and especially great if you have the Batcave and can pose her fighting Batman alongside, or maybe even helping him, you never know. So yeah, I think that the articulation serves her very well. We'll have a quick look at the accessories. So we have this kind of like launcher thing. We'll just play it right here. And it kind of just rests up here. Catwoman is kind of able to put her hand where the handle is, but I'm not really sure she's able to like grasp it very nicely. This seems to be just stuck in place up here, so I'm not sure if I want to try to rotate this thing around. So I think it's probably just going to stay like that. But overall, I guess it's kind of neat. It definitely looks like more of a Batman accessory because it has the Bat logo and kind of the fin over here. We also get these gauntlets that Catwoman can wear. I'm not sure, I guess this one would go on this, and this just has little pegs in it, and you just put it in here almost like she's holding an accessory. If you use these, of course, that means that you can't use the whip. I assume you could probably use these with another figure, but they do seem to be made for Catwoman's really small lower arms, so that actually looks pretty nice, and she doesn't lose really much of any articulation that way. So they work just fine. This kind of reminds me of another large red superhero. You may know exactly who I'm talking about. So does that mean that this is the right hand of doom right here that Batman has? So I actually think that looks pretty cool. Lastly, we have Catwoman's whip. It does have that weird white mark on it. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have some kind of like camo on it or something. And so we have it right here. She can get in a lot of cool little poses with it, kind of behind her like this. So I think it looks pretty nice. We'll do a few quick scale comparisons with Catwoman. Here we have one of the armored Batman figures. We'll see how the size compares on those two. That looks about right to me. Looks like Batman is maybe very slightly taller than Catwoman, so I think that looks about right. Here we have the Boy Wonder. Put Robin here, and we'll see. I would say they're just about the same height, so that's probably correct as well. And as for a villain size comparison, we will take Killer Croc. And because Killer Croc is sort of kind of hunched over like a lot of the bigger villains, then maybe he doesn't look quite as big compared to her as maybe he should. But as you can see, the knees are slightly bent, so I suppose if his legs were straightened out, he would be probably up here. So I think that, you know, it's not too bad that way. Here's how Batman looks with his, I believe, intended accessory with the launcher thing on his back. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I actually like it. So is Catwoman a worthy addition to the Spin Master Batman Cape Crusader line? Of course she is. She's really, really cool. What a great little figure. Of course, if you're out in the wild and you see Catwoman, always look for the best paint sample. Of course, that varies with these guys. She is a really cool figure, and I think you're really going to enjoy her. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my review today. Of course, I'm going to try to provide a lot more reviews for the Spin Master Batman stuff. And if you want to see another Spin Master Batman review, I'm actually putting one up very, very soon after this one. So please subscribe so you don't miss out for that one. Of course, we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers very soon, so any help that we could get on that would be so appreciated. Anyway, guys, God bless you all. Be careful out there, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever.